Hello, everyone. We are back with another topic, actually, topic five to be exact, for a framework for sustainable entrepreneurship. My name is Lenisha Renee. I am the CEO, founder, and lead business coach and marketing consultant here at LR Consulting Firm. And today's topic is pretty cool because there are so many of the clients that I have worked with who think a SWOT analysis is just an exercise. But we're gonna get into the discussion about it. So today we're going to talk about SWOT analysis that actually drives decisions within your business. Um, on the website, there is a downloadable resource template, and it's like a worksheet that you can go in and do your own SWOT analysis and actually do the exercise. What today's session is, and I'm hoping that everyone who's watching will learn and take from this session on how to make their SWOT analysis an actionable plan. All right. Again, I am Lenisha Renee, and the objective for today's topic is to help entrepreneurs move beyond creating a SWOT analysis as a one-time exercise and learn how to use it as a strategic decision-making tool that supports sustainable growth, marketing, and business planning. This entire series is about sustainability as an entrepreneur and how all of the different sectors within the business tie together. Marketing ties in with branding ties in with business initiatives, marketing ties in with business initiatives. And there's so many different ways that you scale your business. And it's all a cycle. It's a kind of a funnel almost, if you want to use those terms. So let's get into it. Just to break this down, what is a SWOT analysis? What does the acronym stand for? Right. Let's talk about what the acronym is first before we go into the actual study of what the analysis is and what it produces. So S is for strengths, W is for weaknesses, O is for opportunities, T is for threats. Many business owners complete a SWOT analysis because someone just told them to and referred them, hey, this would be a great exercise. But the problem is most SWOT analysis end up sitting in a folder and never influence business decisions. So today's session focuses more on making SWOT actionable. A SWOT analysis should guide, again, your marketing, growth strategy, resource allocation, and positioning. A SWOT analysis isn't valuable because you completed it, you did the exercise. It's only valuable because of the decisions that it helps you to make, right? So as we go in and we're looking at the acronym itself, let's talk about some of the ways you should think about these different components within the SWOT analysis, right? Because a SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool that helps businesses evaluate. This is the structure of a SWOT analysis, right? So your strengths are internal advantages. What is actually what you do well? What resources and capabilities does your business have that allows you to be successful? Right? What are the weaknesses? What are your internal limitations, the gaps within your resources, expertise, or systems? Opportunities, they're external factors that can support growth within your business and your offering. Threats are any external factors that may impact success. And that is just at the bare bones, high level of what these different factors within the SWOT analysis include. So the goal is not simply identifying these areas, it's using them to make informed decisions. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of everything. Again, a SWOT analysis isn't valuable because you did the work and you did the exercise. It's valuable because of the decisions that you will make based on what you have learned, what you're informed by within the SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And I am hoping that all of my listeners will gain more of a way to allow the SWOT analysis to guide your marketing, growth strategy, and your positioning. So today we're going to talk about conducting a realistic SWOT analysis. Your strengths should influence your marketing decisions, turning strengths into brand leverage. We talk about branding in a lot of the different sessions, but let's talk about how your SWOT analysis and your brand commingle together. What external factors can support growth, and identifying your ways to identify your strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities, how the SWOT can be used as a tool for decision making, and using opportunities and threats to guide marketing pivots, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. Again, if you guys want to reach out, you have questions, you can scan that QR code down at the bottom. The worksheet that you can use to basically be thought provoking and use the template as an exercise is on the website. So www.lrconsultingent.co, and it's in the resource center. You'll see it. It'll have a marketing SWOT title. So let's talk, right? So let's talk about conducting a realistic SWOT analysis. Honesty creates strategy. You have got to be honest with yourself. One of the biggest mistakes business owners make is creating an overly optimistic SWOT analysis when you should just be solely asking, what do you genuinely do well, and what are you good at? What is your business good at, right? Where are you struggling within your business? What resources are missing? What obstacles exist today in your business? Growth strategy businesses especially need honesty, because assumptions can become expensive mistakes. Your SWOT analysis should reflect reality, not aspiration. Not Your SWOT analysis should not be 8 to 10 pages long, right? To be honest, you can do a great SWOT analysis in 3 to 5 pages. It just depends on what type of business you have. Keep that in mind. Don't feel like you have to throw everything in the kitchen sink in, because this will turn into a plan for you to execute. And you do not want to be overwhelmed within that plan. So just make sure that you keep it very high level and make it to where it's actionable, but not overly optimistic, or sorry, not overly optimistic, right? You want to hone in on the things that you can control in that very moment, in reality, today, right? Now, if you want to do a short term, which are the areas that you can create an actionable plan around as a short-term goal, by all means. If you want to do another SWOT analysis, then and make it long-term, fine. But when you get into the long-term, that is a continual research in trends, market, industry. There's so many things that you have to constantly keep paying attention to have a long-term goal, that you have to keep going back and reevaluating and redoing the research. So here it is. Okay, identifying your strengths. What gives your business an advantage? So your strengths may include you're an industry expert or a thought leader in your space. You have strong customer relationships, your brand reputation. You can have positive brand equity within your business, unique service offerings that most people do not offer within your market or your industry, specialized skills and expertise, established partnerships, co-branding, and having channel partnerships or just different businesses that you work with that are reputable. That is a strength. The goal is to identify what truly differentiates your business and ask yourself, why do customers choose you, right? Why do people do business with you? Why do people partnership with you? What do you do better than your competitors? What do clients, customers, or consumers consistently praise you for? Those are areas to identify as your strengths, right? So now moving into turning strengths into brand leverage. So your strengths should influence your marketing. Remember, I mentioned that early on. Many businesses identify strengths but fail to leverage them. Okay, so let me give you some examples. If customer service is a strength for your business, make it a part of your messaging. If Industry expertise is a strength. Create educational content, thought leadership content. If your process is unique, showcase your process. Your strengths should shape your positioning in your market. They should influence your marketing message, and they should become part of your competitive advantage. Your strongest assets should always be the loudest part of your brand and your messaging within your messaging. Okay. So let's move on to identifying weaknesses, because weaknesses don't disappear because you ignore them. They will absolutely not disappear, and they can become extremely expensive, or they can become a gap within how you run your business. So weaknesses often include, and here's just a couple examples: limited marketing budget, lack of systems and processes where you can't operationalize your operations, inconsistent branding and messaging, limited team capacity, poor website functionality. Even if you are taking in leads in your website, weak lead generation because you're not using forms to take in leads, or you're not putting them through the sales funnel. And it just depends on your business. Every business has a weakness. Every business has weaknesses. So the objective is not perfection, it is awareness. When you know better, you can make better decisions within your branding, right? Within your messaging, within how you operate, right? The processes or the tech stacks that you introduce, the type of system. Some people don't need CRMs, which is a customer relationship management tool. Some people don't need that, right? But you may still want to have a way to do life cycle campaigns and marketing to your consumers, customers, or clients, so that way they stay relevant, or you stay relevant with them. And life cycle, we'll get into a whole thing about campaigns and the type of messaging that you can put out to retain clients, customers, or consumers. That's a whole other topic. We won't get into that now. So let's just keep moving on, because I want to get as much as I can in this time that we have. Is so important to make sure that I get all of the information that's going to help you when doing your SWOT analysis. So addressing weaknesses before they become revenue blockers. Today's weaknesses can become tomorrow's growth barrier. I was just saying that. In so many words, weaknesses become dangerous when they begin affecting lead generation, customer retention, brand perception and messaging, operational efficiency. You have to ask yourself, what is slowing your growth, right? What frustrates your customers, clients, or consumers? What processes are causing inefficiencies? All of this is very important to highlight, but you also have to ask the questions to the right people, right? If you have a small team, you need to be having conversations and business meetings around what is not working, what is working, and what they're seeing. You have to involve as many people in their not just opinions, right, but just what they're experiencing. And then definitely your customers, clients, and consumers. You have to talk to them. You have to interact with them on a regular, so that you can find out what they are saying about what you're doing well, or what they feel are areas where you lack in servicing them. So you have to create action plans before weaknesses become expensive problems. And you have to rely on the resources that are there. And what better resource than the people who work within your business daily, as well as what your end users are saying about your businesses? Because businesses rarely fail because of one major issue. They struggle because small weaknesses go unaddressed. So that's the thing, you got to remember. So next, identifying opportunities. What external factors can support growth? So opportunities may include like emerging market demand, strategic partnerships. We spoke about that earlier. New technology, industry trends that you all or your company is using well and different from your competitors, and untapped customer segments. So for identifying opportunities is what market gaps exist, right? What customer needs are not being met within your market or your industry? What opportunities align with your business strengths? Right? Not every opportunity should be pursued, and just keep that in mind. It could just be something that, you have a short term where hey, this is a great opportunity that I know I can execute right now. And you have long-term opportunities that you can invest in later on, and you just put it into your long-term plan. Focus on opportunities that align with your business goals at that time. And then next, we have identifying threats. What could disrupt growth? Threats could include increased competition, economic shifts, industry market changes, rising costs, technology disruptions. Threats aren't meant to create fear. Keep that in mind. This is awareness, right? They're meant to improve preparedness. And businesses that anticipate change adapt faster. They pivot much quicker. And then using opportunities and threats to guide marketing pivots, which is strategy requires adaptation. I can never say that enough. The most successful businesses that I have worked with and that I have seen grow continuously evaluate opportunities and threats. Some examples are new customer demand may require new messaging, competitive shifts may require repositioning. Industry changes may require new service offerings. Your SWOT analysis should help answer these specific questions. What should we amplify? What should we improve? What should we prepare for? Marketing pivots should be driven by strategy, not panic. Okay. And then SWOT as a decision-making tool, which is how you evaluate, prioritize, and execute, which is so important. Use your SWOT analysis when making decisions about marketing investments, website improvements, service development, and offering development, business expansion, resource allocation. A SWOT analysis should become part of your planning process, not a one-time execution of an exercise. Right? This should be an ongoing. You have your short-term analysis and strategy, and then you have your long-term analysis and strategy that will consistently get reevaluated, right? So some of the key takeaways that I want you all to understand in this session specifically, a SWOT analysis should definitely reveal reality. Okay. It should support decision making, strengthen positioning, reduce risk, and it should guide your growth. A SWOT analysis is most powerful when it drives action. When used correctly, it'll help you leverage your strengths, improve on your weaknesses, pursue the right opportunities, and be aware and prepare for the threats that are coming. That is how SWOT becomes part of a sustainable business framework rather than a simple planning exercise. So I hope I give you guys a lot of information, and I hope that I'm not moving too fast. If I am, please feel free to comment in the video. Let me know if you want me to go a little bit deeper. A lot of this is surface level, so you guys can get your feet wet and you can at least start using the templates on the site, the worksheets to be, help you to be thought provoking or and allow you to answer a lot of these questions that are within these series. So make sure you go and download the SWOT analysis worksheet on LR Consulting Firm's website in the Resource Center. And a final thought for you all, and make sure you subscribe, share, like the video. I will continue to keep on pushing out more content as long as you guys, like it. And I love hearing, everyone's feedback. So my final thought is the goal of a SWOT analysis is not to predict the future. It is to make better decisions today so you're prepared for tomorrow. Okay. And for SWOT analysis for entrepreneurs, I want you to stop guessing and start making strategic decisions. Okay. We're going to take out all the guesswork. That is what this series is about, to build sustainable businesses, businesses that understand how to operate, not just structure them, but to physically operate within these different sectors in business. So again, my name is Lanisha Renee. I appreciate you all coming and, liking and sharing. Make sure, again, you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, visit the blog on the website, which has other information about SWOT analysis that you can read on. It also has different topics about marketing, business, and all of the fun things about business that we must know in order to sustain our business. And, I enjoy this. So I'm just going to keep on pushing out more content. Until next time, you all continue to ask the questions. And yeah, well, we have 2 more topics left. So I'll be back.